so there's no whistling now. I would also like to take this opportunity to remind members that this meeting is being recorded and will be subsequently available for public listening. On the subject of recording, I would ask you to ensure that you use your microphones at all times when speaking and that you speak clearly into the microphones. Move on to the main part of the agenda now. Item 1, Sederunt apologies.
Thank you, Chairman. We're missing Councillor Ian Brothers, Collins, Yen and Whiteheart. We've got 7 members present to start the meeting.
Right, item 2, any declarations of interest? Move on to item 3, which is the minute of the 7th of June. Are we happy to approve this? I take it that we are.
Yes.
No dissent?
Yeah.
Just for the recording. And with that, we'll move now on to item 4, which is scrutiny review access to services and use of public buildings, feedback and visit to Dumfries Sports Club, Nunholm. This report provides members with the feedback from our visit to the Dumfries Sports Club. I'd like to express our thanks to the members of the committee at Dumfries Sports Club for showing us around and answering our questions. Members will note from the appendix details of discussions that took place on the day. I can ask the members who were there at the meeting, does this reflect the sort of discussions that we had at the appendix? Is there any further comments or is there anything in there that doesn't ring a bell with you? Councillor Ritz?
Thank you, Chair. It was a very useful and productive visit, and I learnt a lot, and even encouraged perhaps to take up tennis again, perhaps not. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised about was the fees are very competitive, and I did play there a long time ago and just can't remember, but it seems that you do get value for money. But one thing did concern me was the fact that they're saying that they do not have these brown signs that signpost people, and so people not aware that facility is there. I don't know whether it's the cost or a bureaucratic minefield they have to pick their way through in order to get these nice brown signs that will maybe attract more people.
I think signage was one of the big issues because it's slightly off the beaten track, not far, but just off the main road. And a little help if there was something we could do as a council to help that. And I think most of the tourist board signs, the brown ones, is it something like £1,500 it costs minimum, but thereabouts for one, so it's something maybe we need to look into. Councillor Dykes?
I wasn't at the visit. I used to play a lot of squash there, so I'm aware of the facility. I just wonder about the brown signage, because in the town itself of Dumfries there's quite a number of blue signs, still arc signposting people to DG1 and pointing in the DG1 direction. So could you not do something with blue signs rather than brown signs, and then the cost implication would be less? I think it's easier to do signage through the council than it is to do signage through these brown tourist board signs, which need to be signed off by Transport Scotland, etc. as well, I think.
I think actually Councillor Dykes brings up a good point. Should we be looking at colour coding our signs for the different kinds of facilities that we have on offer?
I don't think that's a stupid idea. I think that's quite a sensible idea.
I think that would be something we need to say to our roads colleagues. It's maybe not part of this review.
Sorry.
I do know that. And that's, we do have some nice pink signs which say Queen of the South, Dumfries Queen of the South, but we've got rid of
Only
those.
adds to confusion, Chair.
Right, Councillor Brodie.
Yeah, on the brown signs, I think you've got to be a member of Scotland's quality assurance scheme for that, so maybe blue or a white sign or a pink sign would
blue sign.
Chair.
Councillor Wood.
Also want to bring up the point about investigating opportunities for service access. During that discussion, we were talking about how PPI schools, we didn't know or how we could go about making sure that we utilised all of the hours within the contract, and this was a possible route. Have we done any further investigation as to whether if it is a possibility to use a similar system or not?
Well, the answer is no, not at the moment. Obviously, waiting for the feedback from committee. If that's an area you want us to go away and look at, then more than happy to sort of take that and bring it back when we're looking at sort of closing the.
Can I suggest that we do that? I'll put it down in the motion if so.
Councillor Gilroy.
Well, just on that, we were just talking there with Andy. You know, they had a very low cost entry system of FOBs, online booking.
Yep.
It didn't require a lot of staff, which is always the thing, you know, that costs quite a lot of money just to come and open up and put the lights on. And I think that could be taken perhaps to the schools and things where it's the janitor side of things that are difficult to get there and to open up for people and so forth. I don't know whether we do roll that out across anything that we run ourselves or not. Well, I thought that was a really efficient way of keeping costs to a minimum once you got it set up, and it seemed to work well.
Councillor Dykes.
I agree it's something that should be looked at, but I don't think that's a decision for the scrutiny committee.
No.
We're just to scrutinise the way, the methods that other people are using, and that's what we're doing, and it is something that we could put forward in our findings that could be taken forward by another service committee.
So with that, Councillor Woods, are you quite happy if we put that sort of in towards the
Absolutely, I think we have to put it forward as a recommendation.
Yeah, that we actually, you know, the other services should be looking to move into this sort of way of accessing buildings.
All we colour coded signs to help. Absolutely.
Yeah. Councillor Woods.
I suppose the initial setup for a system might be quite expensive, but certain in the long run, because you don't need to have janitorial staff there all the time. It would probably wash its face and it would be interesting to get the costings.
Right. With that.
Chair, just for the record, do we not need to be a little bit careful here about what we're actually asking for? Because we're sort of getting ourselves into the situation where if we're going down the route of suggesting that we need FOBs rather than people, then we're looking at, you know, probably union representation, etc. as well. So from a recommendation point of view, I think we just need to be a little bit careful as to what we put forward as recommendations from the scrutiny committee. But I don't think there'd be any problem in suggesting that we had looked at several organisations, both within and out with the council, and we felt that that was an area that could warrant further investigation. I'm just conscious of the fact that we employ the people, the council employs the people who open and close the establishments that we're talking about.
I suppose it's
Not
also
all of
the
them.
case that if you can increase usage because you can reduce the cost to them, it may actually fund people's jobs in the future, whereby if they're not using the halls because it costs £15 an hour to come out and open it, there's no money coming in, therefore there's less revenue in the council, so less staff able to be employed. So there are swings and roundabouts. So
As long as that is very clear,
it may
that
be
this
an
committee is not, because I'm not prepared to sit and allow this committee to make a decision where we are more or less saying we want to reduce the staff numbers and have a FOB instead. It's not our decision to do that.
But I was not suggesting that. All I'm suggesting is that we investigate much more closely at the possibilities and then put those possibilities in a format of a recommendation.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, so go right.
Also looking at the usage of our own facilities, because I think we'll find that perhaps some of the new PPP schools were not using the hours that were allocated to us, and there must be a reason for that, and that's what we have to look at.
Absolutely.
Chair, I think Councillor Dykes, Councillor
councillor Wood in terms of it's an area for investigation. You know, you can't draw any conclusions at this stage, but it is something we need to look at, and it may be that the committee gather some information, but ask for another committee to look into it in more detail under their own remits and their own delegations. But at this stage, it's certainly something to note for further investigation.
I suppose the only thing missing out of the note is the anecdote from the chairman about his wonderful catch at Clough Man, but I'll leave that for another day. With that, are we happy to proceed to the recommendations, which are consider the evidence and information collected at the visit, and agree this should be added to the evidence gathered for the access, service and use of public building scrutiny review, along with the additional points made today. Access to services in item 5. Evidence session on operations of community sports hubs, Keswick Athletic Centre, pitches and King George V Sports Complex. I will bring the
You're not doing a presentation, are you? No.
and a presentation from Billy Hewitson. Well, I think there's a presentation from Lee Seaton on sports hubs, and then there's question and answers evidence session on Billy Hewitson, Queen of the South, KG5, and Grayson Rovers.
Right, we'll over there then, presumably.
I don't know if it's going. It'll be a spoken presentation.
Ah, right, right. That's what I was getting at. That.
Yeah, I could go through what the report is, and then when they arrive, we can get straight into the presentation. For your information, this report provides an introduction to our evidence session on access to services and use of public buildings, and in particular use of sports facilities. We have with us today, or shortly they'll be joining us, Graham Muir from Grayson Rovers Foundation, Billy Hewitson from Queen of the South Football Club, and Lee Seaton Scotland Weekend from the Council's Licensed Sports Services.
They're just waiting on one person called to come through.
Right. Just want to.
Can we watch TV for 10 minutes?
Is there any other ones that we could do? It's only going to be a minute.
That's very good, as I said, it's just waiting for it to be a second. You still recording?
Yes.
We don't really want to have a couple minutes discussion about which questions people want to stop.
Let's take it as it comes.